Why would a slut appear in textbooks? Beyond that, she was relentlessly hounded by gossip and attacks. This is Marie Curie, the woman we know as Madame Curie. So, who was the real Marie Curie? How did she forge a path as a trailblazing woman in a tumultuous world? In this piece, let's dive into her story. Marie Curie was born in 1867 in Warsaw, Poland, the fifth child in her family. Both her parents were teachers, and though the family wasn't wealthy, a love of learning always filled their home. From a young age, Marie showed remarkable talent and the potential to shine through hard work. But back then, Poland had banned women from attending universities, throwing a major roadblock in her educational path right from the start. Marie didn't let that stop her. Convinced of the value of higher education, she resolved to teach herself. After years of tireless effort, at age 24, she got the chance to take an entrance exam and earned the top score, securing a spot at the Sorbonne University, one of the world's leading institutions. Once on campus, Marie set a clear goal. She wanted to earn degrees in both physics and mathematics, pouring her heart into the field she loved. Her dedication and passion paid off. She consistently excelled in her studies. Marie had an unstoppable spirit. If there wasn't a path, she'd carve one out herself. At a time when female students were practically non-existent, Marie's presence was a double-edged sword. As an attractive young woman, she caught the eye of many male classmates and felt the stirrings of youth. Yet, as a female scholar, she often faced cold shoulders. Her scientific journey was full of hurdles. She didn't even have a spot in the lab. Still, she pushed through the challenges to complete her studies and research. 3 years later, at 27, Marie met Pierre Curie by chance. What seemed like a casual meeting blossomed into something deeper as they found a shared passion for science and similar views on social issues. They were like lone travelers in the dark, each holding a lantern, only to discover they were on the same road. Their bond grew quickly, and Marie took on a new role, Madame Curie. But in this story, we'll keep calling her Marie, because above all, she was her own person. In the years that followed, Marie kept exploring her research. While working on her doctoral dissertation, she came across Henri Becquerel's experiments with uranium salts, where a rare metal emitted rays, a breakthrough that kicked off modern radioactivity and laid the groundwork for today's X-ray technology. Though the scientific community largely ignored it at the time, Marie saw its potential and dove in. A few months later, she isolated a new element from pitchblende and named it polonium. She published papers on it, hoping to spark interest and push science forward. But her work didn't get the response she'd hoped for. Bias against women in academia brushed it off as a passing curiosity. Undeterred, Marie pressed on. She discovered another element in pitchblende with radioactivity thousands of times stronger than uranium. To isolate it, she and Pierre collected waste slag from factories. With no proper lab, they set up in an abandoned wooden shed, using their own savings to buy equipment. In those tough conditions, they ran countless experiments, often failing. After many setbacks, they extracted just 0.1 grams of the new element from 10 tons of uranium slag and named it radium. Radium's radioactivity was 1,000,000 times stronger than uranium's, making it the most radioactive element known then. 5 grams of radium could power all of New York City for a year. Released in an instant, its energy matched an atomic bomb. This discovery stunned the scientific world, and people started noticing Marie's work. But noticing isn't the same as recognizing. Many chalked it up to luck, like a blind cat finding a dead mouse. A woman couldn't have done this, they thought. It had to be her husband's doing. Sure enough, when the 1903 Nobel Prize nominations rolled around, Marie's name was left off the list for radium's discovery. Though the committee knew she was the driving force, they pegged her as Pierre's assistant and gave the credit to the man. After all, they reasoned, women were made to help men. Luckily, Pierre fought for her, insisting they be nominated together. In the end, both their names made it onto the Nobel Prize list, saving Marie's contributions from being erased by gender bias. The Nobel win brought more funding and a new lab. This scientific duo could have kept exploring in better conditions, but tragedy struck. Pierre died in a sudden carriage accident. Tomorrow or disaster? Disaster came first. Marie was devastated, left speechless by fate's cruelty. As she dealt with Pierre's affairs, she wrestled with her next step: keep researching amid prejudice or step back into the shadows. The latter would mean snuffing out a spark she'd nurtured for 20 years. After soul-searching, Marie chose to stand tall, carrying on for both herself and Pierre. She threw herself into work so fast that some called her cold, spreading rumors, when really, she was burying her grief in her tasks. 6 months after Pierre's death, Marie took his place, becoming France's first female professor. She picked up his unfinished courses and experiments and wrote a 600-page book published under Pierre's name. Yet, prejudice lingered. Newspapers accused her of riding her husband's coattails to a high position, saying she didn't deserve it. At first, she stayed quiet against the baseless claims, but to get better research resources, she vied for an academician spot, a move the scientific elite saw as a stain on a male honor. Despite her talent, she lost the election because she was a woman. That's when she realized attacks on women don't always come with guns or insults. They hide in polite smiles, vanished letters of support, and the creases of old traditions. The challenges didn't end there. Marie's lab assistant, Paul Langevin, a respected scientist, often vented to her about his stupid, abusive wife, saying he wanted to spend his life with Marie and take over her lab. At first, she wavered, thinking she'd found another Pierre. But when she pressed him for commitment, he dodged. "Next time, I promise. Or don't worry, darling, I'll divorce her soon." Marie saw through him, ended it firmly, and refocused on her work. 3 months later, Paris newspapers blew up with a scandal: Marie and Langevin's alleged affair, branding her a homewrecker. The story spread like wildfire, painting her as a moral failure. Unverified gossip fueled the outrage, fake letters surfaced. Tabloids called her a Polish slut, and her home's windows were smashed. She became a public enemy. Meanwhile, Langevin dodged blame, even earning praise for his manliness, later flaunting a mistress. The case went to court, where Marie was cleared, but the public's venom didn't fade. Amid this storm, Marie got an urgent telegram. She'd won another Nobel Prize for radium. But just before the ceremony, the committee hinted she shouldn't attend due to the scandal. Marie saw the irony. Radium could pierce lead, but not prejudice. She fired back. The award was for science, not her personal life. Defiant, she went to Sweden and accepted it. The victory was bittersweet. Soon after, she had to leave her university and lab, retreating to the suburbs in obscurity. That lasted until 1914, when World War I shifted the spotlight. Marie didn't stop. She turned her skills to good. She adapted X-ray tech for the battlefield, learning to drive, fix, and modify cars into mobile medical units to spot bullet fragments in soldiers. She rallied resources, got the rich to donate, and pulled friends into the effort, even bringing her eldest daughter to the front. She trained women in medical courses to use the equipment, saving lives. At 47, she built 20 X-ray vehicles and personally saved thousands of soldiers. Post-war, attitudes softened, and her work gained recognition. The Paris Academy of Sciences rebuilt the Radium Institute in her honor. Marie returned to research, mentoring brilliant students. Years of radiation exposure took a toll. In 1934, she was diagnosed with leukemia and died at 67, closing a legendary chapter. Nobel winner Rosalind Yallow once said women must work twice as hard as men for half the credit. So success isn't hard, just exhausting. In a male-driven scientific world, Marie faced endless obstacles and rumors. Yet, she prevailed. Some lights shine brightest through cracks. Her story in textbooks isn't flawless or saintly, it's real. Maybe women don't need to be perfect. Some are meant to break through the dark. That's Marie Curie.